Yo, 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 what is going on, IK fam? BN, I'm back again today for another dope Infinity Kingdom video, and I'm excited to talk about probably the one thing that is on a lot of players' minds. I get this question all the time, which is, boss, when is my alliance ready to capture the next city level? How do I know how strong I have to be, how strong my players have to be, in order to have, or better yet, achieve successful sieges on cities? So we're going to answer that question for you today. I'm going to go through every city level. I'm going to give you some tips, some general best practices, and then we're going to go over my recommended numbers for minimums that you should have when you are sieging each city level. Now, we're going to start off talking about that, and then I'll dive into some of the tips and the best practices here in a bit. So let's first off start. I made an account here on a brand new server. This is S44. We're going to start off with a level 1 city. We'll work through and kind of give you ranges on each. So level 1 city here, you can see is if we click on the wall, you see the wall durability here is 16 mil. The garrison power for level 1 city is 13,616 or 13.6k for our abbreviation. Now, the recommendation here is that you should at least have, I would say, 5 to 6 players above the garrison power. Now, this is the important part to understand. The garrison power is not your lord power. And sadly, I cannot look at rankings, so this is what we're going to do so I can show this off to you. We will go here and take a look. So keep in mind, this is not your lord power. Right, so you can see my lord power here as an example is 206,000, right? That is not what you base the garrison power off of. You base that off of your troop power, right? So your troop power has to be higher than the garrison power in order to then have a higher chance of sieging cities with that minimum number of players. So again, for level 1 cities, we recommend at least 5 to 6 players have to be above the garrison power. Right now, that's usually somewhere I would say around 14 to 14.5k at minimum, with more players there to support. Right, and that's just because the amount of garrisons on a level 1 city are typically a little bit lower. Right, so you want to have people that are above at least minimum there in order to increase your chances of having a successful siege. Now, for a level 2 city, the recommendation is that you should have at least 7 to 8 players. Now you'll notice as I kind of go through these, I really recommend kind of going up by 2 to 3, somewhere in that range per city level. So at 30 mil wall durability, right, we recommend for here, you're going to be dealing with a garrison power of 17,454 or 17.4k. The recommendation here is 7 to 8 players that you need to have above the garrison power in order to take a level 2 city. For a level 3 city, you're looking at a wall durability of 50 mil, right? So it's starting to go up a little bit more. And then the garrison power here is 24,604 or 24.6k, right? The recommendation is to have 9 to 10 people above the garrison power before you attempt a city siege. And again, I'm going to give you, again, really good tips here at the end, so make sure you're staying tuned. And then level 4 city is going to be at 76 mil. For the garrison power, for the wall durability, and 31,417 for the garrison power, right? Again, the recommendation here is going to be you having around 11 to 12 players above the garrison power for a level 4 city. Level 5 city, which would be, and again, this is for what I would recommend as a non-capital, right? This is an important note to make. This is for a level 5 non-capital city. We'll talk about capitals in a bit. Wall durability here is going to be 104 mil with a garrison power of 39,812 or 39.8k. The recommendation for a level 5 non-capital city is 13 to 14 players above the garrison power. For a level 6 city, if we go over here to not, the wall durability is 152 mil. Garrison power is 49,661 or 49.6k for short. Recommendation here is to have 15 to 16 people above the garrison power prior to taking. Now also note, when I do say above the garrison power, like I said before, right, that means that you at least have someone anywhere from, I would say on average anywhere from like 1,000 to maybe 3,000 troop power above the garrison power, right? That's kind of my min range that I recommend. For a level 7 city, which is a non-capital, the recommendation here is going to be to have 17 to 18 players above the garrison power. Wall durability is 200 mil. Garrison power for a level 7 is 58,312 or 58.3k. For a level 8 city, now we're getting almost to the end here. Wall durability is 252 mil, and garrison power is 68,728 or 68.7. Recommendation for level 8 cities to have 19 to 20 people above the garrison power. Now we're going to just get into the level 9s. Now for the level 9s, keep in mind that when you're talking about those, right, there are only 3 level 9 cities, right, which is just the capital. So we'll take a look at one. You can see that the wall durability here is 415 million. Garrison power for a level 9 capital is 76,580 or 76.5k. So the recommendation here is to have, I would say, around 25 players minimum above the garrison power before you attempt a level 9 capital. Now, again, keep in mind, these are rough averages, and these are minimums, right? So anything you have more than that is only going to increase your odds to have a successful city siege. In addition, this is the big pieces here, right, is that do not take the minimums I'm giving you as that's the minimum amount of people you need to have online. No, you need to have other players online supporting your siege, right, to essentially do as much damage onto the wall. So that way the players that are above the garrison power can really primarily focus on the garrisons within the city after the wall goes down. It also doesn't necessarily mean that the people that are above the garrison power should not be helping to take the wall down, but you need other players, you need more players online than just the people that are above the garrison power to help take the wall down, again, so it's less resources and AP used by players that are above your garrison power, because those players are really there to do most of the damage on the garrison, right? So it benefits your alliance to be able to take down the walls as quickly as possible, and that typically helps when you have more players online. So now this kind of gets into my general good tips, which is that, one, always make sure you have the most amount of people online as possible. Now, whether you send an alliance mail out, asking people for the times they play, if you do something like a Survey Monkey and you just provide a link to that in your alliance mail for people to go and fill out, if you private chat every player in your alliance individually like we do, that's something we've done. Other alliances like to use surveys online, right? And you ask them, right, what, Monday through Sunday, or Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, or Monday through Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, right? What are your online times, right? When are you available to siege, during the week? This information is really good to know when you are looking to plan when you are going to do a siege, because it'll give you the highest chance to have the most amount of players online prior to you attacking said city. Then another really good tip is to organize your players. Something that we have done for our alliances prior to all the cities being captured is we will set it up where we have our rank 4 players in a position where they are the players that will be set up around the first ring. So the first ring of the city, right? Typically we just call that ring 1, or the first ring, second ring. And that's the first layer that's around the city. And this will be for your rank 4 players, essentially the players that have the strongest troop power in your alliance. It allows for you to better organize. Then you can put the next 14 to 27, 14 to 28 players, or even 14 to 30 players at your rank 3 position. So then you do the first layer, right, which is R4s, or first ring. Second ring is R3s. And then the third ring can be your R2s and your R1s, if you will. We find this is a very easy way to set up your ranking structure prior to all the cities being captured on the server. Then you can transition to something different. But at least when it comes to city captures, this helps. In addition, right, mailing players, finding out their time zones, right, making sure you let players know best practices on how to level up their primary troop. This is also one of the reasons why we advise players to focus on one troop at a time, because it'll allow for you to be more of a contributor when it comes to sieging cities. Once all the cities are captured, right, then you can really, and again, this is more so from that free-to-play perspective, right, then you can really start focusing on building up a secondary march, right, doing light, even more long-term light investment into a third march. It really opens the doors up a little bit more. for you in that regard. But for the most part, spending the majority of your resources, at least as a free-to-play, into a primary march is one of the best ways that is going to help you be more supportive for your alliance when it comes to sieging cities, especially the higher level ones. So outside of that, right, these are really good points, I feel, and practices that players should be applying when it comes to knowing when your alliance, or is your alliance, ready to then siege a higher level city. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, this just kind of covers some brief points along with letting you know what my recommendations are for when your alliance should be ready to capture the next level city. And again, if anyone has any comments, if you guys have other tips, other things that you have found that work really well, this is just kind of a short version for me. The big thing here I wanted to really cover is when an alliance should be ready, because I have seen too many times in the IK Discord where people are posting about, when is my alliance ready, or they had a failed siege attempt, how do they know when they're strong enough? I hope this video helps that. So players and alliance better yet, alliance leaders and officers are a little more prepared for when they're going to call for a siege to be done by their players. Because I think no one wants to be in a position where they're failing a siege, and especially because all it is a matter of time. Especially if you're in a position where you don't have to rush to capture a city and you kind of have all the time in the world, it only benefits you in the long run if you wait for more players, more of your average player base to get stronger, because it's only going to increase your odds and chances when you do finally decide to siege that city. So that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts down below. And then until next time, catch you later. Peace!